Hi, I'm Chris Kwan. I'm a storyteller and host of When Did You Know? I started this project as a 30-something-year-old single guy who had no clue on how to find true love in this crazy world. Join me on this journey as I interview couples that I've met along the way who were kind enough to sit down with me and share their stories of experience, strength, and hope. They come from all different walks of life, but have one thing in common. They're very much in love, and they live it day in and day out. Their stories show that whatever you've been through and wherever you are in life, that true love is out there and it's possible for all of us. So without further ado, let's do it.
When did you know? When did you know?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the podcast. This week we have a wonderful couple for you that I'm so excited to bring onto the show and share. This is Monique and Laura. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves and we'll get started. Laura, would you like to kick us off?
I guess I can go first, sure.
Yeah.
So my name is Laura Nguyen. I am 33 years old. I work in mergers and acquisitions tax. I've been doing that for about 5 years. Before that, I was doing tax compliance, and I'm a certified public accountant in the state of Texas.
And so you said you work with lawyers and accountants, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Lawyers
a fun
and CPAs.
Christmas party.
Oh, yeah. Very fun Christmas parties.
Okay.
And I think I already shared this, maybe not, but I'll share it again, and I'll look over at Monique. I'm originally from Dallas and moved to Houston. I moved to Houston for Monique.
The things you do for love, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It may also be like a lesbian kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Where we just like U-Haul and move.
Yeah.
And I know this is not part of the thing you shared with us, but can we also share a fun fact?
Yes, please. I would love that.
Okay. I'm really obsessed with learning about Chernobyl.
Okay. Can I ask why? Why Chernobyl specifically?
I feel like it's really interesting. Like, I make Monique watch all the movies with me, and I don't know.
Things we do for love, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So she moved to Houston, and I just learn about Chernobyl all the time
okay.
now.
Yeah. It's like a very unhealthy obsession. Like, I'll look up like the radiation levels, and like I'm on like Facebook groups about it, and I'll like watch documentaries like almost every other night.
It's like just that nuclear incident, not any other.
No, you made us watch that.
Was
yeah,
really
you made us listen to that podcast on the way to Dallas.
Yeah, Fukushima. I had to fight for that too.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Your turn.
Well, would you like what ethnicity are you?
Oh, I forgot. I am 100% Latina.
Okay.
My mom's from Monterrey, Mexico.
Oh wow.
And my dad is from Laredo. And so I am 100% Mexican.
Okay. But you were born in Dallas?
I was born, well, technically in Irving, but I'm grew up in Dallas.
Okay. Cool.
Aren't you a little Portuguese too?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I'm part Portuguese. I don't know the exact percentage though. But anyway.
Which, we think exact percentages are kind of important.
It's critical. So, yeah. But.
Well, thanks, Laura. What about you, Monique?
Hi, my name is Monique Nguyen.
Yeah.
And I am a pharmacist and real estate agent. And I'm 37 years old. I was born and raised in Houston, and we still live there now. And I am 75% Vietnamese, 25% Chinese.
Okay, well, thank you for that. Yeah, the exact
These
number.
percentages are so important.
Yeah, right? We were talking about it, off camera before we got started. So, and she's also, Monique in a previous life was also like a flag football all-star, and I think a lot of people know that. Yeah.
Those
kind of
those old days, I wish I still was, not anymore.
Well, I think there's like plenty of people like my brother-in-law that are like still playing, and they would love to have you as a ringer. All right. Well, again, thanks so much for inviting me to your home and having, being a part of the show. I always like to kind of, obviously start from the beginning, right? That's a great place to start from. And so could you tell us a little bit about like how you guys met, when, where, like how long ago?
So we've been together for about 5 years now. And we met in 2018 on Coffee Meets Bagel, the dating app.
Online.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Shout out dating apps.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see, at that time I was in Houston, but I had just started a new job in the Woodlands for anybody that is from Houston, the Woodlands is like the northern part.
Mm-hmm.
So I had just moved to the Woodlands and I was, still on the dating apps. And then because I had moved a little bit further north, I was like in the radius of the Dallas area.
Yeah.
So then we matched on Coffee Meets Bagel just because I had just moved up further north.
Wow. So that's like super serendipitous.
Yeah, it was
Kind
pretty
of.
crazy.
Well, okay, I'm going to interject here because
Okay.
I threw money at the apps.
You did?
I did because your girl, I'm just very impatient. I don't have
Okay.
time for it. So I was just like, if I throw enough money, maybe like it'll show me the good ones. I'm sorry, it sounds so bad.
So spend money on the apps.
Spend money. I'm
basically-
serious.
I did not spend
It's
any money on the apps.
It's a numbers game.
That's just Laura.
Sorry, I shouldn't say that. But I mean, I really think like it's just so it was so difficult.
Can I ask like what drove you guys to be on the apps in the first place? Like obviously you guys are two like very attractive, beautiful looking people. I'm sure you have like tons of suitors and options. Like what drove you online?
I'll let you go first, honey.
Oh, I'm always working.
Okay.
And so I just don't have time. I don't even know where I would meet someone. I feel like the idea of like casually bumping into someone at the Kroger, like salad aisle, I don't know. I like
Hands, touch,
Yeah.
graze across
Yeah. It's like, do you want my number? Let's get married.
Yeah.
It happens just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm an introvert, so I never go to the grocery store anyway.
Okay.
So it just would never happen. So I knew my only option was basically online dating.
Okay. What about you, Mo?
I mean, I think similarly, like, I feel like once you finish school, your ability to meet new people is just severely like restricted. I mean, you're not in that environment anymore. Like you have your coworkers, and then unless you have some sort of extracurricular activities, like you're probably not meeting a lot of new people.
Yeah.
And then I also felt like for us, like in the LGBTQ world, like our dating pool is also so much smaller.
Yeah.
Like it's so much harder to meet new people that are. Yeah.
It's so difficult. It's like gay first, or bisexual, or trans, right? And then meeting someone of your own like age. We have age ranges that and then like values. Do you want children? Do you not want children? So it just like the pool just keeps getting smaller and smaller.
Sure.
But I feel like that same pool, or I guess like the closing in of that pool is the same for hetero couples. Is that the proper term? I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. You call us whatever you want.
I don't know.
Whatever you want. Yeah.
As we get older.
Yeah, and I definitely think for women, especially like, as we get older, the pool gets smaller and smaller. So like, obviously we're both women and, we were in our 30s. So I was in my 30s.
I was in my 20s.
Yeah, she was in her 20s,
Yeah.
but I was in my 30s already. Yeah, and we're both already working already in our careers.
Yeah.
And yeah, like looking for...
She met me when you were my age. You were 32. I cannot beeping, okay, I'm not going to cuss, imagine going on a dating site right now, and trying to date.
Yeah.
I don't have the energy for it.
Yeah.
It just sounds so exhausting.
It is. I
Yeah.
can tell you, firsthand.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. It's definitely like changed the game. It's
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing that. I mean, I think that that's not something that I was aware of, like all those factors,
Yeah.
obviously, because I'm thinking like you could just go down the street and be like, hey, I'm single, right?
Or the grocery store.
Yeah, or the grocery
Yeah,
store. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm gonna hang out in
Kroger.
I'll be in the salad aisle. I'd be
Yeah.
remiss because like I'm sure people are wondering what we're playing with.
Oh.
Yeah, Laura was so kind enough to provide. I actually want to show.
Laura
this
loves
one.
playing with Play-Doh.
Play-Doh. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm neurodivergent, and I use stimming toys, and Play-Doh is really fun. Slime. I'm going to tell you right now, because I think Monique won't get upset with me. Honey, I have to admit something to you. You're going to get kind of mad. I actually accidentally got slime on one of my anthropology shirts.
Oh, okay, I don't really care.
Okay, I thought she was going to get really mad. I hid it in the closet.
Oh,
That
okay.
happened this week.
Okay, as long as
be
we're making
careful.
apologies, I like.
I thought you were going to
split
say
this and-
furniture or...
No,
I'm like,
no.
oh, your shirt. Okay, I don't care about
Yeah, this is like the coolest Play-Doh
It's
that I've
foam.
seen. It's like foam with like
Slime.
little. What are these?
It's like foam. They kind of.
I want to eat these like little
They're like
sprinkle
little
looking
beads
things.
or
Yeah, little
something.
beads, and I kind of spilled a bunch.
It's
on the
oh, it's
floor.
okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It's fine.
So as long as we're making apologies, I
Yeah,
just wanted to
yeah.
throw that out there. So okay, so you guys meet online, you match, right? What was that like initial conversation like? Who like what was the opening line? Was it something clever? Okay,
Go
all
ahead,
right,
honey.
Laura's sweating.
I
Okay,
can't remember.
You can't remember?
I remember the emotions.
okay,
So I had already been. I think before we started dating, I had been in like a 4-year relationship.
okay.
So long term, and then we broke up, and then I was single for probably almost a year before Laura and I met. So I was on the dating apps, and it's like fun at first because that world didn't exist when I was in my previous relationship. I was like, oh, this is exciting. So it's like fun for a little bit, and then yeah, it's like not that fun.
Yeah.
And you get kind of jaded and you're like, oh, you meet all these new people, but no, like it's hard to find people that like want the same things that you want. Anyways, I was kind of over it
Yeah.
by the time Laura came along.
Okay.
So Laura and I match on Coffee Meets Bagel. And I just ignored her.
Did.
Like we matched, and then I was just like, she's from Dallas. Like I'm so tired of long distance. Like I'm not about this
Yeah,
anymore.
I know exactly what you were about to say.
Yeah, and so honestly, we matched, but I don't know if I said anything to her. I just like was whatever. Like I totally just was about it.
Who opened up the conversation? Like, did you say something?
I was the driver of the entire thing. I saw her and I was just like, she's gorgeous. I need to meet her.
Yeah.
And so I reached out. I don't remember how I finessed it. Oh yeah. So we had a little bit of back and forth, you know, and I could tell I could kind of tell. It was dry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, honey.
It's fine. I was
really
barely
dry.
responding. Honestly, it was very like, I would answer her, but it wasn't very like, I wasn't putting a lot of effort into it at all.
I had a, anyway. Yeah. So then one evening I'm working really late at night and I'm like sitting around with my coworkers and I'm like, oh my gosh, this girl has still not texted me. And I'm like, I'm so annoyed right now. And I messaged her and I'm like, look, I'm really busy and I don't have time to like go back and forth. I was like, I want to meet you. So if you want to meet me too, let me know. And
I love that.
And then
how bold of you.
She was super bold. It was literally something along the lines of, do you want to keep talking to me? I don't have a lot of time to waste. Check one or like yes or no.
Yes,
yeah,
press one for yes.
Box 1 for yes, box 2 for no, like type of thing. But yeah, it was, and I think that like got my attention a little bit more. I was like, oh, okay, she's not just like another like person that I'll text back and forth with for weeks and then this turns into nothing.
Yeah. That totally gives me like those vibes of like, I don't know, for me, like in elementary school when you pass that note, you're like, do you like me?
Oh, yes.
I didn't pass it. I threw it.
You threw it.
I threw that
She
damn
threw it at
note.
my head. And she was like,
did.
hey, look at me.
I'm getting like the fighter vibe because like, you took her last name, you moved to Dallas. I mean, from Dallas to Houston, and you were saying like you fought for the last name.
I did.
Mo, step it up, yo.
I like to be chased. What can I say?
Okay.
I'm okay with
She says that all the time.
Oh my God.
All the time. And I will say, I feel like we tell everyone this, but it's a pretty big point. So it came to it to where, we were just messaging and she already checked 1 for yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the next step is obviously meeting each other in person. Yeah. It so happened that you're going to like London or something.
Oh yeah. I was about to take an international trip with my cousins.
And it was busy season for me. And for people who don't know what busy season is, this was when I was doing tax compliance. Yeah. There's deadlines and basically you are not allowed to take off. So I impulsively bought her a plane ticket and flew her out to Dallas. And that was the first time we met.
That was our first date. She flew me to Dallas for our first date.
You are such a romantic.
Thank
I want to
you.
be rude like that.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
I was like, well, I'm going to go meet this girl. I might be killed. I don't know what's going to like. I was texting my friends. I was like, okay, guys, I'm turning on my location. Like, if you don't hear back from me soon, like I might be dead.
Well, I try to make her real. I'm this 5'1" nothing, right? And I really wanted her to be comfortable. And I was like, do you want me to pick you up from the airport? I don't have to. And she was like, no, it's fine. So I went to the store and grabbed her a bunch of fruit and had like fruit in like a container, and so like the first thing she did when she got in my car, she like started. I think you were eating the fruit. I think.
Yeah, she brought me a fruit cup when she met me and when she picked me up from the airport.
You
Yeah.
loved it, huh?
Yeah.
You're like, this is my love language. How did
That's
you
it.
know?
That's the end of the episode. We fell in love. We got married immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
right?
have a fruit
Okay.
cup.
All right, okay.
Oh, I got her fruit because I knew that she like likes to work out, and I don't. So, I was thinking, what do what do people that work out like to eat? And okay, well, I'm not going to get into the other stuff that happened, but
Okay.
anyway.
Anyways, all right.
Yeah.
So, wow, that's like so that was my next segue. Is like, when did you first like meet in person? So you flew her out.
I did, yeah.
Okay, so fruit in the car, and then was it like immediately taken to a date, or like what happened?
I rented an Airbnb in Dallas.
Okay.
So I think like I landed in the evening. We went to the grocery store
I
together.
know,
I
we
remember.
did.
Oh.
Yeah, so we took a little trip to the grocery store to get like snacks and stuff for the Airbnb.
I don't know if you're even going to say this on this podcast, but keep going.
You can't say that and then not.
I know,
All right,
and
anyway.
I want to see it. Okay.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it's been a while. But yeah, we went to the grocery store, got some snacks, and then like just went back to the Airbnb and like hung out because it was already like late in the day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was like our first like date, I guess.
I want to put this on the record. I did have plans to go home that night.
That evening.
That
Okay, so
evening.
you weren't gonna like
I
just
wasn't-
chill the
no.
whole time, but you didn't go home, did you?
I did not.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, I mean, that's sweet. Okay. Wait. So I have like a couple tangents I want to go back on.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Okay. So like, as girls dating, online dating and stuff like that, like, what's that like? Because like for guys, like you might match with one girl every once in a while. Like, did you guys have like your like pick a litter, like a bunch of matches and you're kind of talking to different people, or were you kind of like, it sounds like you were kind of focused on Monique? I just was curious, is that different for girls
So
dating,
I think
looking
it
around for other
varies.
girls?
yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm still pretty picky.
Okay.
Like even through online dating,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
um,
more than a pretty face.
Yeah, but I remember like I had some coworkers at the time. It was like I had a couple of male coworkers that were married, and like they were almost like living vicariously through me. They're like, "Oh, this is so fun."
Yeah.
They're like, "Can we swipe for you?"
Yeah.
And
Oh my god.
and so like
What if
they
swipe no?
they would take my phone and they wanted to like swipe on all these girls. I'm like, "Ew, no." And one of the guys was like, "Oh, it's just a numbers game." So like every
told
person
you.
that I would have been like a maybe about, the guys are like, yes, just say yes to everybody. But for me, I'm like, okay, it's either like yes or nothing.
Wait,
Like there's no like, if you were a maybe, I didn't swipe.
Did you say yes to me, or did one of your coworkers say
That was
yes
my
to
next
me?
question.
I said yes to you, honey.
Okay.
She just winked, or like something was
Oh,
in
she
her
did?
eye. I don't know. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
fine.
I don't mean
But yeah,
to start.
yeah.
I don't know.
stuff.
I can't speak for everybody else, but I will say for myself, I still felt like even though online like dating is like you have a lot of options, I still felt like I was still fairly picky.
Okay.
And I think being a girl, you have to be a little bit pickier. Like
Yeah.
you have to be like protect yourself, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of crazy. Oh, I made her prove to me that she wasn't a catfish.
Okay.
Like I was like take a selfie of yourself like with a date or
During
something.
work hours.
Oh,
It was
so
not-
you like
it was
did not
not
have all
during-
your resources.
It was not
My
during work hours. It was
resources.
like in the evening,
Which
but
is
she
work
was still
hours.
working
Uh-huh.
In
because
the
she was always
office.
working.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so I was like,
So you stressed her out that day.
well, I was like, okay, well, you need to prove to me you're not a catfish. She took a photo of her sock, her foot with
Because
a sock,
it's me.
and I was like, what is that? I was like, that could be anybody's sock. That doesn't show me anything.
Because it's me. And
Yeah.
you see it's me.
And I think
Yeah.
she like what else did you do? You sent me a
My email.
a screenshot of her email signature. I'm like, also very fakeable. And then
She's trying. Okay.
And so it took a few attempts, and then finally I was like, no, it has to be a selfie with the date. And she was like, okay, fine. And I could tell like when she took the picture, it was like her in her like a fluorescent light office.
I know. And it was like, what is it, like that open seating too? So I had to
It was,
wait
like,
for no one to be
cubicles.
there.
Oh, so like no judgment.
Yeah,
and
no judgment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, no, you got to prove it because
Yeah.
there's a lot of crazy people out there.
Yeah, there is. It's so interesting because I could totally see a girl asking like a guy to do some of that stuff. But I mean, it makes sense, right? We're all human beings and people. Okay, so what were the first impressions like? Like she gets in the car, you get to see each other in person, you're grocery shopping, like judgment on like, oh, like I vibe with that snack, or like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
she's
yeah.
a snack. Like, I, you know, like what was that like? Meeting in person is always different, right?
I mean, I think she was what what I expected.
Mhm.
I don't think like I didn't see her and be like, oh my gosh, she doesn't look anything like the photo. So that was good.
God.
That's always a good sign.
The feet pic.
Yeah.
Her feet look exactly like they
Okay,
did in the
great.
photos.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then I definitely think most of my experiences with her just seemed very different than most other people I had been dating online. Like, I mean, even literally just like the like pick yes or no, like, or do you want to keep talking to me? And then flying me out to Dallas, and then like, yeah, like we went grocery shopping as our first date.
That's a great way to kind of get to know somebody, though.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, it was just like very like original, like just stuff that I didn't expect at all, and stuff that like I didn't do on any other like date.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What about you, Laura?
Oh my God. I don't remember. I remember words, but like it was just the emotion.
Mhm.
Like I don't know. I was just like, oh my gosh, she's so pretty. I was like, holy crap, she's beautiful. And I was like trying to be cool.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like, oh my God. Oh man. I'm pretty sure I was nervous, but I was also just like really taken aback as to like how beautiful she was or is. And yeah, that's definitely like I think just like feeling so intense with that was so different.
I love how like you like when you talk about it, like you remember like the feeling, like
Yeah.
the emotions, you know.
Yeah.
That's cool. Between the two of y'all, we get like the complete picture, right? Because you're like telling us like what happened, what y'all did, and she's like, "This is how I felt."
I feel, yeah. It's
Yeah,
very much-
Laura calls me a robot, like
Oh,
very
really?
very
She is.
unemotional. I
There's-
mean, I have emotions, but I'm very more like I work more off of logic
Okay.
and that side of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
So
a song by Yoko Kano, and it's called "Be Human."
Uh huh.
And that's her song.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's about like this guy who's like talking about wanting to be human, and it's very much so Monique.
You know, that dynamic is always so interesting to me because there are a lot of couples where like one of the, you know, the people are like less emotional or like more logical. Robot, that term is thrown around a lot. My sister used to call my brother-in-law, you know him, Chris Lee,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
robot. And now he like cries during like commercials and stuff. Like he's super
Well,
cute.
no, see, I do cry like
Tell me
during
about the
movies
crying.
and stuff.
The,
What?
the thing he sent me on Instagram.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It means like it doesn't mean you're weak. It means well, people don't
You're
know what you're talking
emotionally strong. I
Yeah.
mean, I do
Yeah.
cry all the time, but I feel like when it comes to like decision making and things, I'm very much like logic driven.
about. Okay, that's cool. Are you a big
Yeah.
crier?
No,
No, I'm not. I guess that
not at
means I'm-
movies and stuff.
Yeah, not at movies.
In
Okay.
real life stuff, yes.
In real-
Yeah, real life stuff. Monique's the opposite.
Yeah, we are the opposite in
Yeah.
that sense. Yeah.
Opposites attract. There's some truth to that.
Oh,
you would
yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you said like you like to work out, be active, stuff like that. You don't work
I
out.
don't know. Yeah.
Just God given, just blessed.
This body is made by Cheetos.
Really?
Incorporated.
Okay,
by
shout out Cheetos.
Yeah,
All right.
incorporated by
Hot
Cheetos.
Cheetos.
Yeah,
Wow, it's incredible.
Yeah.
it's incredible what.
I have to work for this or try to maintain,
what
right?
I was gonna say it's incredible what medication can do.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So another thing earlier I noted I'm neurodivergent.
Uh-huh.
That plays very heavily into our relationship.
Oh,
It really does.
great tell.
Yes.
What do you mean?
So, I am really weird. Like, I am very introverted. I have these like super intense interests, like producing music or programming
Chernobyl.
or in
Chernobyl.
Chernobyl. Those
Yeah.
three, literally those, or video games. And it's sometimes can be a little bit difficult, like tuning in to that part of myself, and then like also learning how to be a human with Monique. And it's really interesting, like living with each other, right? Because there's so many things that happen throughout the day where I'm like, I don't know why Monique doesn't scream around the house. I don't know why Monique doesn't dance and like flap her hands around. Like we are very different.
Yeah.
Which is probably something that other couples don't really have to go through. But as we're all like stimming with our Play-Doh,
This is like my favorite thing ever.
it's helpful.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. But it's something that I'm learning about myself, and Monique and I are trying to, understand and like work through as a couple. But I feel like it also adds some benefit, because even though she's a robot and I may not be, there are some qualities about me that can be seen as robotic, like, having routine.
Okay.
Whether that routine is me being messy, but sorry, but I do think that in that regard, it's easy for us. So I don't know if I could say that we're truly opposites.
Okay.
Well, we're pretty opposite.
I don't know. I feel like in some. Okay. Anyway, to each their own.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of beauty in that. Wait, so like how long did that first date go? You were there for like
I was there for the weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you go home at all, or were you just kind of hanging out the whole time, getting to know each other?
I had to go home, and I had to take her with me. So
I literally met her mom that first weekend.
Oh wow!
I told you, like, nothing that we did was like a usual date.
Okay.
I was like, well, I've been grocery shopping with this girl. Like, we stayed at the same Airbnb for like briefly. I met her mom. It was very.
I want to talk about when I first met your mom, because that moment was special for me.
Yeah, we're talking about like courtship, like other dates. Yeah, let's do it.
So we walked into her family's friend's house, and I was so nervous, and her mom didn't know.
How long into the dating was this?
I'm trying to remember. I'm like, which event is this?
We were making Jaya. Remember with Chris's? Not you.
Oh, that was the first time you met my mom?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I know that.
I forgot already.
I didn't know what Jaya was either. I love Jaya. So I am really nervous, and I think your mom knew that I think you'd come out to your mom already.
Yeah.
And so I think she knew that I was your girlfriend. And I could tell there was a little bit of tension. Like, I was like, I really want to like, connect with her so badly.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, I inserted myself and like tried to like help with, making Jaya, and I played guitar for her with your dad, remember?
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun.
I bet they loved you.
I hope so. I think so. She puts up with me.
So that's actually like something really cool to mention. Like, so I'm guessing you guys are both like, family's important to you. You are close to your families. So were there reservations about like introducing, each other, or like, or meeting the other family? I mean, obviously that's what you're sharing about now.
Yeah. I think, so my family knows about me being a lesbian.
And then supportive and loving. That's great.
That's another podcast.
Sure.
But so it was easier, I think, introducing Monique. But I don't know how it felt with your family.
So by that time, my mom did know, but it was still like fairly new. Like, I think my mom like knew. Yeah. But we just never talked about it. Got it. The Asian way.
Yeah. The Asian way.
The Asian way. But yeah, so I think my mom did know, but it was just kind of like unspoken. I don't know what my dad knew, honestly. Even now, like looking back, I'm like, I don't know if my dad knew who you were.
I don't even think he knows today.
But yeah, so I don't think I've ever been scared to like have my parents meet people, but I don't think it took a long time for me to ever introduce people as like my significant other.
Sure.
It was just like, hi, this is Laura. Okay, that's it. No titles. This is just Laura.
I'm just there all the time. I don't think I think we were well into dating, and her dad still didn't know my name.
Yeah, I think like at our wedding, Laura was like, does your dad know that he's coming to our wedding? Like, does he know that this is a wedding? Or like, does he just think we're on vacation? Like, I was like, I don't know. Just go with it.
We just go with it.
They're here. They're here.
I was like, he'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
We just never talked about it.
It's funny you said that, because I just, I saw on Instagram you guys just had your second is it wedding anniversary?
Yeah.
Yep.
Saw the pictures. One of the things I noticed that stood out was like how happy like the whole family looked, like the parents on both sides and all those pictures and stuff. And so, kind of, I guess, thanks for filling in the gaps, because it looks like everyone had a really great time. And
I will say, and maybe this is getting into something that I don't know. You guys stop me if I'm not allowed to talk about
no,
this.
go ahead, you can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
I feel like you have pressure to perform and be successful, and I feel like I also have that pressure. Like, I want to impress your mom, and like,
Oh, we're both only children, by the way. Too.
Oh,
well, she has
yeah,
she has a half
brother
Uh-huh.
and a stepsister.
but essentially we grew up like only children.
Yeah.
So I do think there's like that pressure.
Yeah.
We have to be good kids.
But
I mean, like I have a sister,
Mhm.
Yeah.
So what are you talking about? Only child pressure?
Mhm.
Like, 'cause you're like the one hit wonder?
yeah,
Like,
one hit wonder.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, only one take. I'm a one take
Yeah.
girl. But yeah, no, I feel like in that regard, we have the same value
Mm-hmm.
that, we both put, I mean, maybe it's not a good thing, but like, I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to perform and like, make our parents proud.
Oh,
and
yeah,
our
yeah.
parents are both, immigrants.
Uh-huh.
My mom's from Monterrey. She wasn't born in, the States, and same with your mom.
My parents were
Not Monterey. But,
Yeah, not Monterrey.
yeah.
Yeah. So we have that. I guess we're first gen U.S. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
so beautiful.
I think Laura and I are very different when it comes to like the day-to-day stuff, like our hobbies and all those things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely think we have a lot of like the same core values, which
Yeah.
is what has made our relationship work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're looking for women, I highly recommend that you also try to find those things that you connect with, because I do feel like it's harder to, even though we're, we speak different languages, like, we have those different cultural backgrounds. I feel like there's these same like underlying help me
I feel like the foundation is the
There we
same.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the things that we want are the same.
Yeah.
Even if like the things that we do for fun and all that stuff is slightly different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even if the surface level,
Yeah.
like interests and things like that, even if there's differences, you're
But
saying
I-
like, yeah.
I think that people will automatically write people off though if those surface level
Yeah,
things
no,
aren't
absolutely.
there.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like, if you knew that I like to like Chernobyl and love video gaming, and I'm pretty sure you would have been like, no, I need someone that's going to work out with me.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, I think it's helpful if you have
Or
things.
someone who is like more into Fukushima, not Chernobyl,
Yeah, yeah,
you know.
yeah.
I mean, I think it really it does help if you have a lot more hobbies in common, but I don't think that like just because you don't have all those things that it can't work.
Yeah.
Oh, I do want to note, and I don't know if we're even allowed to go in this depth, but I feel like another big thing about that is respecting each other's, like, what they want to do. Because I feel like a lot of couples go through that where it's like, even because we are different. Fine. Okay. I admit it. We are different. But I really love that Monique gives me my space to be myself.
Yeah.
Like, and then, so if she wants to go do something like play tennis or, I don't know, run, I don't know what you do.
She's struggling to even come up with like exercises. What do people do?
Yeah, what do people do? I don't feel like I need to be, right attached at her hip. So I feel like that's critical.
Yeah. Like not having to do everything together.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yep.
And not having jealousy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I
huge.
think as long as you're like open-minded and you're okay with like giving each other space and having some independence, like you can still work as a couple even if you're different.
Yeah.
Like as long as you let those things like you're like, oh yeah, you do you, I'm gonna go do me, and it's okay. We can reconvene later and do stuff together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, those are like opportunities to kind of like recharge too, right? Like you don't have to do everything together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Even with like the cultural differences, like being from a Vietnamese family and from like a Hispanic family, while there are differences, there's a lot of similarities too, like family values
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think family like is still important for both cultures. Like, so both of us having that in common already was very helpful.
Yeah.
Mm. Yep.
Okay, so like you're meeting each other's parents, you're dating. How was the courtship? Like 3 years-ish of dating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any like exciting story, any funny stories, anything that you remember from that time?
From our dating days.
Oh man.
Was it like a whirlwind? Like y'all were traveling the world together and doing this and that?
No, we were always working.
We were always
okay,
we
wow.
were the most boring couple. Yeah,
We were
always
boring.
working.
Yeah.
I mean, she moved to Houston pretty quickly. So I think at the time when we first started dating, she was already in the process of like maybe looking for a new job. So she just kind of expanded her search to include Houston.
Okay.
Yeah, so it worked out for us. Like, I'm trying to remember when you moved to Houston, but it was like under a year.
Month 4.
Month 4.
Yeah, but the thing is that I was looking for a job already.
Yeah.
Like I was already looking because I mentioned earlier that I did tax compliance.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really want to get into mergers and acquisitions. And I was like, look, it's either we do long distance forever or, like something has to budge. So I was like, if you're okay with it, are you okay with me like expanding my search? And then if I were to move to Houston, I would not live with her.
Okay.
But that's another story.
You're so bold. I'm proud of you.
I was just thinking that. I said, you're so brave. When I grow up, I want to be just like you.
Thank you.
When you grow up, even though you're older than her.
Yeah. Like, but
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, like, I love the way, like, even these, like, examples that you've given us, like, from the start of the relationship, you're so brave and bold, courageous.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel like
You are,
I
honey.
deserve a boba tea after this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
get you
for
a
sure,
boba
for
tea.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like you're good at going after what you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she did not hesitate. She's like, I'm flying you to Dallas. I'm moving to Houston. We're gonna get married. Like,
Yeah.
I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, so that's kind of like, I mean, where this is headed. Like,
Yeah.
you guys are dating for a few years.
And COVID happened.
COVID happens during that time.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sure you learned a lot more about each other during that time too.
Yes.
We did.
When did you start having like thoughts of like maybe I could spend the rest of my life with this person, or like proposing, or I'm guessing it was you that did that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did.
You know,
Mo
us,
just
you
hangs
know
out.
us already.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just here. I'm just
Okay.
here for the ride. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, honey. When did you know?
Yeah, when did you know that you wanted to spend the rest of your life with Monique?
Oh man, so earlier when you asked us, and I told you I wanted this to be organic,
Yeah.
the first thought was the first day I met her. Oh my God, that sounds so crazy.
No, go ahead.
But I literally I feel like the energy I felt like when I first met you, I was like, holy, like this girl, like I want to be with her. Like that's all that mattered in that moment. And so if I could take that emotion and that's my answer.
You're such a guy. No, I love that. No, I really do. A lot of people that I talk to, like sometimes it's like one or the other. Like it's a specific kind of moment in time like that where they're like, yes, they feel it.
Yeah.
And for a lot of other people, it's like a series of things, a collection of a lot of different, moments and experiences. But
you have to be convinced.
Yeah. So you kind of knew from the get.
I knew. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's what like helps you be so bold.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I needed to be convinced.
Yeah, she needed to be convinced.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm still being convinced. Like every day you got to convince me.
Every day is an opportunity to convince her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when did you start thinking like, okay, like maybe?
I mean, I could definitely tell early on that she was different and it was more serious. Like, I mean, even from that first message of like, hey, like, what's going on? Are you going to keep, like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Type of talk. Like, I could already tell, like, okay, this isn't going to be the usual, like, oh, let's just meet for a drink and turn into nothing. Or, let's just hang out type of thing. Yeah. So I could already tell early that she was going to be a more serious type of relationship.
Sure.
And I think it was easy because she was very transparent. Like I want to be with you.
Yeah.
And it was there was just no games.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think, that made it easier.
I'm just remembering like all our dates. I will say I felt like every single date was so intense for me. Like, so,
Really?
but yeah, it
I was
was
like, really? How was it
for me. It was for me. It was. I like so. Yeah. Anyway,
Well, I
again,
think every date had to be more meaningful because we were doing long distance in the beginning.
yeah,
You know, so like it took a lot more effort. It wasn't just like, hey, I'll meet you on the
it was
corner.
intentional.
Like,
Yeah.
It was
intentional.
intentional.
everything was
Yeah.
very intentional. Yeah.
So did you feel like a lot of pressure then?
No,
Because I feel like you're kind of taking the lead. You know, like you're
Yeah.
like, I know that.
I just
this
get
is-
annoyed and impatient very easily. Yeah.
I could totally relate to Laura. I'm like, who are you? What are you doing? Step up your game. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. How much do you make?
Yeah.
She's like, give me your social security number. I need the credit score.
I
And
need
tell me everything about your life.
Run
now.
your credit.
Mhm.
Run your credit.
Yeah.
Did you both like always want to be married and settle down and stuff like that, or was that, you know?
I think I've always wanted to be married, but I think I just didn't want to settle. Like I knew I wanted to like find the right person, but I wasn't in a rush. Like, well, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'm not gonna force it. But I did always want to be married.
Okay. And I mean, I don't even have to ask you. I feel
No,
like.
it's actually a different answer. I feel like in the sense of like me putting on a wedding gown and like I never even thought that would be me.
Yeah.
Like I would ever so in a sense, maybe I thought I would never get married, but like, so in the traditional sense of marriage, no, but as like a life partner, yes.
Okay. Yeah. That's so cool. What about like, you know, like having kids, like raising kids, adopting kids? Like, has that always been a thing or on the table? I'm only asking because, like, for me, you know, I thought even from like a very young age that one of the things that was always going to be in the cards for me, or like part of the plan, was to be a dad. You
Yeah.
know, sometimes even more so than like a husband.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, I still love kids, but I do think like just because I'm good with kids and have worked with them in different capacities and ages, like doesn't mean that it means that I have to have kids or anything like
Yeah.
that. And then getting to, you know, firsthand see like, you know, I love my niece and nephew.
Yeah, I was
you
literally
know.
thinking about your niece and nephew.
Yeah, I mean, they're my world, but it's really cool to be an uncle. You know, I get to see kind of the ins and outs, like especially when I'm in Houston for like extended periods of time with them, or you know, even with some of my other friends, and all the challenges that come with like raising kids and like what it does to like the relationship, you know, and between the husband and the wife, or the wife and the wife, or husband and the husband, whatever.
Yeah.
Now I think like I'm finally at the point for the first time in my life, like if it happens, I'm good with it. If it doesn't, I'm completely happy too.
Yeah.
So I was just curious, you know, like, is that something that like...
I think I've always wanted kids. I mean, I've never been like baby fever, but I think I always wanted a family just because family was like, I've grown up with well, not my personal family, but I've had a lot of cousins and aunts and uncles. So I've always wanted that. But yeah, and I think a lot of the times when I was dating, I would always try to think about like, okay, would this person be a good mother or a good father, like a good parent? And that's, I definitely think that rules out a lot of people. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
I actually am. Well, okay, I will say at first, I feel like I'm a child myself, so I never really saw myself. Case in point.
She's squeezing it a little harder. Right? No, I'm kidding.
So I never really envisioned myself having kids. And I also feel like it would be kind of like an injustice to be with someone if they wanted kids and I didn't want kids.
Yeah. I mean, the values, right? Like,
yeah. But I feel like I'm 100% ready to have kids.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm embracing, you know, it, and I really want to have kids.
Yeah.
We're actually going through IVF right now.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Mm.
And
Oh my God, congratulations. I mean, you know.
Yeah. But we know that it may happen, like it may be successful and it may not.
Yeah.
So even if it's not successful, it is going to be sad for us.
Uh-huh.
But I think that's another milestone that we're looking, towards. But if it's a no, that's fine. We'll look at other avenues.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely on the table, and something that it's a core value. But
yeah, I don't think I could have dated someone if they told me like right off the bat, like I don't want children ever.
Mhm.
I'd be like, well, I mean, I don't know if it's in the cards for me. Like maybe we will, maybe we won't. But
Yeah.
I think if you immediately set that up and said, I absolutely do not want kids, I'd be like, okay, well, we can't date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry. I'm so happy for you guys. Thanks for sharing that. You totally didn't have to share that.
hey,
Harper and Knox, they're both IVF babies too. Yeah, it took them like a long time to try, and that was like a very big,
yeah.
thing for a while. I'm gonna cry.
Oh.
No, but that's so beautiful. I'm so that's not where I thought that this was going when I
I'm
when I
gonna
brought
cry
that
too.
up. No,
Oh my
no, we're good. We're good. We're good.
You want some more? I have slime.
Yeah, give me the
slime.
Wipe away your tears.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not crying. It's
Yeah.
It's like oniony slime.
It's onions.
Oh,
yeah.
that's totally doing it for me though. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, obviously, like, best of luck to you guys on that
Thank
whole
you.
venture
Yeah.
too. And I'm so excited for y'all. And I would love to coach all of their teams.
Dude, oh
Now
my
when I have
gosh.
I will take you up on that.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, bet. Oh,
Yes.
it's gonna be so cool. That's so beautiful. Okay. We're gonna keep it going.
Okay.
So for anybody that's listening, right, that maybe is dating someone currently and trying to figure out like, hey, do I see a real future? Like somebody like single or like jaded like me, or like even for people that are married, right? Do you have any like parting words of wisdom? Any advice? For anybody that is just going through life.
What are my parting words of wisdom? I would say learn to love yourself, because I don't think you can really love someone
That's a
else until
good
you love
one.
yourself.
That's a good one.
And know yourself. Like, because I don't think you really you won't know what you want. Like, and you're not gonna be able to find what you want if you don't like know yourself and know what you want.
Yeah.
My advice as a CPA as well is be open about your finances and
It's important. Yeah.
drop it. I want you, this is your homework. When you're starting to date, just get the vibe. And it doesn't matter what the financial profile is, but talking about finances in your relationship is critical. And it's like, I think one of the biggest factors as to why people, will enter into a divorce. If people start to lock up about that discussion, I feel like it's an immediate no. Like that, I think that's like the core pillar. Basically, that sounds so horrible, but
You guys are so different.
I
We
know.
are, so we are.
Well, I know. Love yourself. I'm like finance.
Finance.
Yeah, finance.
Shout out
I
finances.
think
Finance,
that's super important. Yeah,
It is.
It
because I
is.
do know a lot of people struggle with that. That was never like, we were very lucky. We never had any issues when it came to like talking about money.
It's
Like
a
we were
big
both very
thing.
open. It was a very easy discussion for us.
What's
so I
it-
think that's why I don't think about it.
It means a lot to me because of my profession.
Mhm.
And like, if she, I know some people would be uncomfortable, or maybe they'd be like, I don't want to show you my credit report. And I'm like, well, I want to see it. But I mean, these are things, like, I think it's important.
It is. No, I think so too. Especially if you're trying to
if you're
like,
gonna
build
get
a future
married,
and maybe
yeah.
have families and things like that. for
Check your
sure.
credit report.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check you're like, I'll find it.
I'll help you pull
Yeah.
it and I'll see it.
Back to your thing about like, like loving yourself, knowing yourself, like, is that something that came naturally to you, like at a young, because I'm still like, honestly for me, like, I was talking to you about this before we started, like, I don't think that I've met someone, and I couldn't have, because like, it wasn't until recently and still like that I was comfortable in my own skin, saw that self-worth and like
I have a,
Yeah, go ahead.
do you think that you see other people? Do you think it's like a perception of yourself, like a loop almost? And maybe it's like cloud, like
I do, especially like if I'm in a situation and you know, I'm like frustrated or upset with
Yeah.
somebody, I do definitely feel like that's something that
you're projecting it
I'm
out.
seeing, and you know, that I'm seeing like from them that like I have within me that is resonating, you know. And I
Yeah.
need to kind of like figure out like, why do I feel that way, you know, what is it about me?
You have your angry glasses on.
Yeah, I
and you're-
mean, but like, I mean, I think a lot of this, and it's not like the me show, but like for me, I moved here, or my family moved here when I was 5.
yeah.
Didn't speak the language. I didn't look like any of the people that I went to school with. You know, we were poor financially.
We
and,
we were too.
yeah, and
Yeah.
you know, my parents didn't have like college degrees, high school, you know, GEDs, anything, and so I went to school with like a lot of like very affluent, privileged,
Yeah.
you know, predominantly like Caucasian kids, white kids, and
Yeah.
so the like acceptance issues, abandonment issues, you know, rejection, like all that kind of stuff, like
You're like validation complex.
yeah, no, absolutely, I do.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to like work my way through some of that stuff and realize, you know, like I am enough, and you know,
Yeah.
and a lot of that, you know, I mean, I don't think like we're ever a finished project. Like I'm growing and learning, you know, every
Yeah.
day. But I'm finally kind of like at that place where like I've kind of reconciled some of that, and so yeah, I mean, like I just think, you know, when you bring that up, I'm like, yeah, I mean, no figure that you know, like I haven't been in very many serious relationships, or like that I haven't met anyone, because even if I met the perfect person, like I wouldn't have been, you know, what did I have to offer at that
Yeah.
time?
You know, you make a good point. I feel like dating, I'm like thinking about all like my previous dating, and I feel like a lot of it was me seeking validation,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
not healthy.
No, the whole codependency thing, like, you know, the you complete me, like all
Yeah.
that, like, yeah, that, I used to think I think I look for that externally, not only in like relationships, but like with career and, you know, external things and materialistic things and all that. And like, you know, you do that and you always end up like super unsatisfied. I remember like being on vacation. Where was I? I was in Vietnam, and like in like a sick Airbnb, you know, just kind of like eating our way through Vietnam, just like living the life. And then, you know, back then I was still like drinking heavily, and just feeling this like hole and emptiness and going like, is this it? You know, like, is this like all that I have to look forward to in life, and all that? And yeah, I think yeah, you know, I'm not like ashamed of it, but like I've never really talked about like being in the program, being in AA, but like that's one of the things, like it's like I do think it's the best thing that's ever happened to me, because you know, not only, you know, was I able to like be given this like gift of desperation and hit rock bottom to like actually like find God or my higher power and like make a change, but like I'm so grateful that I get to like live this life where you know, like I can be authentic and
Organic,
yeah, and like have that compassion for myself that like you know, that I have for like everybody else and like strangers, you know, like the way that like we talk to ourselves sometimes like internally is like you would never talk to anybody like that. And the expectations and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's been like this beautiful process. I don't think that I would have gotten this podcast started, you know, if I hadn't gone through some of those things. And it's pretty great. It's pretty cool to be like the person that I am here, sitting in front of you guys, doing this with y'all. And you know, I really am like just like so blessed and grateful. Yeah, I don't know how this turned to.
I love it.
Yeah, you should do your own podcast and interview people.
Sorry.
No, but yeah,
Yeah, I just want to say it's not one of my special interests, so I'll leave the podcasting to you.
I think, we're almost kind of like at that hour, and I just want to say thank you again so much from the bottom of my heart for agreeing to do this and taking the time out to talk with me today. And do you have anything else that you want to say?
Can we get boba after that?
Yeah, we can absolutely get boba after this. Shout out boba.
Boba.
Laura's trying to get that boba sponsorship.
Yeah, boba sponsorship. Yeah.
No, thank you so much for having us on. Monique told me about this, and I was like, yes, we're doing it.
I know. She never doubts anything. She's just like, go, like,
yes. Yeah.
I'm still always the maybe, and she's like, yes, let's do it. I'm like, okay.
And I've definitely learned some things. I'm definitely going to take some things out of your playbook, and I think incorporate them because they are bold and romantic.
Pay
and
for the apps.
Yeah.
Credit score.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All those things too.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so my thing is know your worth, like love yourself.
Mine's know their worth.
Because if you love yourself, then that's how you get rid of like the trash that like people that aren't going to treat you right.
Yeah.
And then that's how you get people like hurt. Like that's how you get people to chase after you because you know what you're worth.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna be chasing anyone. You come chase after
you gotta
me.
come for him.
It's different when you're a guy.
Yeah.
Everybody deserves to be chased a little
That's
bit.
true. That
you
is
know?
true. That is true.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys again, and join us next week for another episode. I don't know how it's gonna top this one, but we will try our best. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Korean heart.
Oh, do the
Korean heart.
Korean
Oh, Korean heart,
heart.
Korean
Oh,
heart.
so cute.
When did you know? When